Do you have ugly dust in your images? And do you hate taking flats? Then this video may help you. There are a lot of discussions on whether or not flat frames are useful or whether or not they're worth your time. I personally take flats most sessions because they kind of work like magic and they make my images look a lot better, especially when I am too lazy to clean my sensors. But I do eventually and somewhat often clean my sensors because it's really easy to do. And today I'm going to show you how I do that and what you may need. Super simple, takes a couple minutes, and you'll be surprised at the results. Like for example, this image of M13 with the ugly dust everywhere. And the flat frames reveal so much ugliness, but because of flat frames I can stack everything and they just magically disappear. Now these dusts typically affect your image if they're close to the sensor. So if you have dust in front of your telescope in the front optics, it's highly unlikely that you'll see that in your images unless it's a giant obstruction. These are usually really close to the sensor, such as on the glass protecting the sensor, on the sensor itself, and in some cases when the filter, whatever astro filter you're using, is far enough back that it's close enough to the sensor and that the sensor is picking up the dust motes. So in this video I'll be using my ASI533MC Pro. This has served me really well for many years. It has a square sensor in the front, and we'll see some dust through there. So that M13 shot that you saw was shot with this. So why am I using this camera when I have a crop sensor? I have a couple of crop sensor cameras now. Well, that's because I started recording this video in May 2024, almost 2 years ago. And I thought it's finally time to finish the video. So the goal here is to clean as much dust off the sensor here, of the glass here as possible, so that our flat frames don't have to do as much work, and if you ever forget to take flat frames, you won't regret it. To test this at different stages, I used Nina's Flat Wizard. You can test any way you please. To test this at the various stages, I do have to install the camera back into a telescope and take flats. So I normally use an artist pad like this. I've had this for a very long time. It's USB powered, has multiple brightnesses, and it works really well. Bought it for about 20 bucks, great return on investment. I do this on my table, turn this on, run Flat Wizard, and I can see my results pretty quickly. And the goal is to just get your histogram in a place where the dust starts to appear, and that's usually right near the center, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So a tool like Flat Wizard does everything for you automatically. It'll figure it out for you. Or, you can try and figure it out manually. Go to the image tab and take a bunch of fast frames until you can start seeing dust. The first test, as you kind of saw it, is the baseline, is to just take a flat frame without cleaning it just to see what it looks like. And it looks similar to the flat frames I saw with the M13 shot earlier. So let's do a level 1 clean, and this one's easy. We're going to use a blower. I highly recommend this Johto brand. I got this a while ago, and what I like about this one is that this has a filter on the inside, so when you're blowing, it makes sure that no debris gets out of this thing and onto your sensor. So this puts out clean air. There are other brands that'll do the same thing, so make sure whatever you have, it blows out clean air. And the way to do this is, so we're just going to hold the camera upside down like this, and I'm just going to blow a couple of blows in there. You can do as many as you like, and a lot of the loose dust will just fall off because, again, clean air, it's not introducing any other debris, and because we're holding this upside down, all the dust just falls off. And when we take a look at the flat frame next, and it looks much cleaner. It's not perfect, but a lot of the darker dust that we see is gone, and if we blink back and forth, we can really see a difference. So now we're going to do a level 2 clean, which is we're going to swab the glass on the sensor. So I have this really generic lens cleaning kit that I bought a long time ago to clean my DSLR sensor. There's nothing really special about this, and I didn't even open a lot of the things back then. If I knew, I wouldn't have probably bought this. I probably would have bought the individual units, things that I needed. But the two most important things are these things. These are the sensor cleaning swabs. We'll take a look at that soon. And a cleaning spray. So you can make your own. I believe what this is just some distilled water. There's no alcohol on it, but you can make your own using distilled water and some alcohol. There are formulas online, especially if you go to cloudy nights. There are a lot of discussions on how to make your own cleaning solution. And this one is just a spray. Again, I bought this before I was really comfortable with any of this, but you can see that a lot of the things I have are still under packaging. I've had these for years, didn't have to open these. But again, I bought this to clean DSLRs and not actual telescope AstroCams because I didn't have one back then. And this thing also comes with a blower. This is the worst blower, along with the worst noise it makes. It used to drive my dog crazy. Miss that dog. I don't use this, and it's not clean. It does not blow clean air. So you don't really need this. I am going to use the cleaning solution though, and one of the swabs, and I'm going to put this away. Now you can buy these swabs separately, and this is just a generic brand swab. I bought like a whole bunch of them a few years ago. They are APS-C sized because, again, I bought these for a DSLR, but they actually work well on my IMX571 cameras now, so win. But these will work well on my 533MC Pro as well. So I'm going to take these out and see what it looks like. It just looks like a big spatula, and this is like a clean cloth here on this side. I'm not going to touch it. And what we're going to do here is I am going to spray just one side with the cleaning solution, just once, maybe twice, like so. Yeah, I did it twice. You want to leave the other side dry. And how we're going to clean this is, I'm going to bring my camera up here, see if we can see that. And on using the wet side, I am going to start on one end and then just swipe down, just wipe down all the way, and that's it. You don't want to go back and forth like a broom or a mop. It's because if there are any dust there that can smudge, it will smudge the glass there and you'll regret it. And the reason we sprayed it on one side is because now we can turn it around so that the dry side is facing the glass, and we can wipe down once more, and any other loose dust will come right off, or at least go to the edges. And then at which point you can take your blower, turn it upside down, and then blow it off. And because this is using distilled water, it should not leave any residue. So do not use regular water. Don't use Windex to clean these. And yeah, just one swab. If you feel like you need to do multiple swabs, these are going to be one-time use. Consider these to be one-time use. Throw this away. Get another one. I have another one right here. I bought a pack of, I don't know, I think 50 or 100, and I have a few left. So I do use these quite often, and they work really well. And the cleaning solution is just one or two sprays. That's all you need. And this is so clean right now. So now if we take a new flat and look, and whoa, that looks so much better. And as we blink back and forth, it kind of looks magical, right? It's like between the first level, second level, and the third level. Woof. That black speck in the left-hand side there is probably even closer to the sensor, perhaps even on the sensor itself maybe. But my flat frame very easily work around that speck, so I never really bothered. You could also use cotton swabs instead of these, which are a cheaper alternative, but you want to make sure that your cotton swabs are lint-free, that they're not leaving anything behind. That's one of the reasons why I use these. These are safer. These are not gonna come out. And in this video, we did only clean the protective glass in front of the sensor, so not the sensor itself. And that was on purpose, because with AstroCams, it's very unlikely that dust goes between the protective glass and the sensor itself. It does look like I have something down there, but with flats, I didn't feel the need to risk opening this and having a chance to introduce more dust there. Even if I wear gloves, trying to make sure things are as clean as possible, dust is everywhere. So be careful if you want to clean the sensor itself. But you can open, so you can see that there are screws there. You can open the protective lens and go directly onto the sensor itself. And another bit of advice if you're cleaning filters, instead of using these, you can also use something like Kim wipes, which are lens cleaning, like tissue paper. They leave no lint behind. I also like using pec pads. These are lint-free, like super soft cotton pads. They work really well on optics. I use these on camera lenses. They work really well. So I'll leave links to these in the description below as well. I don't use this camera much anymore, but it has served me well for a very long time. My main camera nowadays is the ASI533MC Pro, and I clean it every once in a while just to get rid of any dust that's there so that there's no kind of buildup, and so far it's been great for me. But like I said, I take flat frames most of my sessions. There are a couple of sessions where I couldn't take flats, and because I do try and keep my sensor clean, I usually don't regret it. Like, I can work out any kind of dust specks in post-processing if I have to. But again, there's been a lot of discussions about whether or not using flats is a good use of time. I personally think it is, but it is an opinion. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this and whether you take flats or whether you ever clean your sensor or you just live with it and fix everything in post-processing, which is completely fine. And as I mentioned earlier, you can use this method to clean your filters. You may need to use multiple swabs, but again, if the filter isn't too close to your camera sensor, you may not see the dust anyway. But sometimes I'll clean this because I actually accidentally touched the filter glass with my finger and I see a fingerprint. These swabs and the cleaning solution is actually a really great way of removing that as well and keeping that clean. So not that it would affect the image quality anyway, but yeah. I will leave some links to some cleaning products in the description below if you want to pursue any of them. But feel free to also do your own research, look up your own cleaning solutions, look up other ways to clean your sensors. If you'd like to support me and my work, consider joining these wonderful people here who support me on Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, and on YouTube by checking out the links in the description and in the pinned comment. Thank you all for watching, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Until next time, clear skies.